Next by Sudha. Outside.
Thank you. My name is Dimple Soni, and I was selected as a Rotary Youth Exchange student for the year 2012-13, and I went to Sao Paulo, Brazil. And I went to Sao Paulo, Brazil. Sao Paulo is actually the biggest city in South America. Like Mumbai, Sao Paulo also is like the commercial capital of Brazil. And Sao Paulo being like a huge city, it was a different experience as I went from big city to another big city, from one house to another house. And this is the picture we took at the airport before we left. And we went with like a lot of excitement, anxiousness, you know, you don't know what's gonna happen. You don't know what the kind of people you're gonna meet. And I was traveling by myself for the first time, and it was not a short journey. First time all by yourself, definitely a lot of mixed feelings together. So this is Mumbai, and from there I went to Sao Paulo. This was my first view of Sao Paulo, and that's why yes, plane window seat, I'll be able to see. And that was definitely something I got to see, the first view of Sao Paulo. It was beautiful. It was like a huge city, the clouds, very exciting. Then I met my first host family had come to receive me at the airport. My host mother Sheila, my host grandmother Tonanai, and this was my host brother. My host brother did his exchange in Germany. So actually, coincidentally, well, a bit sadly also, I couldn't meet him as he left, and after an hour I came. So all his friends, family, relatives, everybody was there to drop him off, and they also were there to give me a warm welcome. And that was my dog, I forgot to mention her. This was my first home. It wasn't that different because, apartment to another apartment. So it was pretty easy to adjust, You think you're going to go in another country not knowing what to expect. How will you adjust? But for me, it was slightly easy. From a big family to another, the city was like a family. Everybody was very warm. Brazilian people are very warm people. You don't have to worry, if I go there, what will happen? Anything, you go on the street, you ask anybody, from lost, give me the directions. It'll be very simple. They'll let you know everything. That was my first home. And country changes, the cuisine changes. Yes, it's quite a change. Brazil has a majority meat-eating country, so being a vegetarian, it was a bit difficult. But then again, I've learned that to adjust and to learn to adapt. Their main dish is actually rice and beans. So in a way, it was kind of easy, And every day you have rice and beans over there. The food over there, being a vegetarian, a bit difficult, but then again, you always find something vegetarian. Over there is Guarana. Guarana is basically a soda, which is very yummy. It's very yummy. There's no words. The public transport over there. The way we use the trains over here, the metro is like the lifeline over there. And so this was the station. The name of my station was São Judas. And just a few pictures on the train. This over here is a picture of the bus. So in the first few days, my host family would be like, let's take you out to see the city and everything. So my host mom, she took me to a lot of places. This was with a few friends of hers. This was another park. And it's just outside the park, there's an obelisk. This is a very famous church over there, so I went over there and there's a picture inside the church. A bit more of sightseeing. This is like a highway, very famous. This over here is actually like a fair that happens every weekend over there. So Brazilian goodies or here it's kind of like a Colaba type area. You go over there, you buy whatever you want, you bargain a bit. It's very similar. A few friends in Brazil. This over here is like all of us, but just a few friends. We went to another place we just went to hang out, and there was a monument by Rotary. So being an exchange student, it's like anywhere you go, you see some, like a Rotary symbol, like, oh, Rotary, it's always there with every exchange student. So, you just try to take a picture with that because it's very, like, you feel like, oh, it's Rotary, it's our Rotary. This was a friend of mine. I visited his city, which at times it's very hard to get permission to travel to another city. So I was lucky enough when I got to see another city. This is my host brother. It's like my second host brother, and I went to the park with him. And this is a picture of the beach on the weekend. So as you can see over there, beaches are very. Everybody loves to go to the beach over there. So what happens is every week, they work a lot. So during the week, they can't really go out. And as soon as they have a weekend, like, let's go to the beach. So everybody, the beach is like packed on the weekends. A few Rotex events. The Rotex over there, they organized a lunch for all the exchange students in the month of August. And they had the typical rice and beans, very Brazilian, like a warm welcome from the Rotex for all the new exchange students. And over here, this is another picture where the Rotex took us to like a downtown project where they took us all the main places in the downtown. My orientation in Sao Hockey. When you have the orientation, like in the start, you're like, I can't wait to meet the other exchange students. And when you go to the orientation, you're like, yeah, I know these, like what happens between exchange students is, when you meet another exchange student, this bond is like formed, like I know what you're going through, you know what I'm going through, it's like you just connect. So my district had almost 30 exchange students. Almost 5 of them were in a January batch, and this was the August batch orientation, so around 25 of them with us. My school and Portuguese classes. So actually in Brazil, being the only country in South America that speaks Portuguese, and the rest of the countries in South America, they speak Spanish. So when I had left, before leaving, I had done a basic course in Portuguese that helped me a bit. And then our Rotary also had organized Portuguese classes for us for 2 months. Like, you give 3 days, 3 times a week you go. So this is a picture in our classes, and that was our teacher Denise. These classes helped me a lot to learn Portuguese. My first host family, they didn't really speak English because it was just my host mother and my host grandmother. My host mother used to go to work, and my grandmother, she didn't really speak English, neither did my host mother. So in the start, it's a bit difficult to approach, to communicate. But then what happens, it was like a, mazburi ki, you have to speak in Portuguese. So then what happens is that makes you want to learn because you want to communicate with them, you want to bond with them because they're your family over there. So then that is something that encourages you to learn Portuguese. And then we had the classes also, so it was great for me. That is a picture with my class over there. And this over here is something that they do in the last year of high school. Is what they do is they set a theme and you dress up according to the theme. So during this day, the theme was carnival. So everybody comes in, different types of masks and things like this and feathers and everything. So that's just a picture with the whole 12th class. Football, yes. Brazil is always connected with football. It has won the World Cup 5 times, and this is my very excited going to Brazil. You know, my first football match, yes, very exciting. You go to a football match and the atmosphere around you is just wonderful. Everybody screaming, you know, going for the people, the players who are playing. And my host mother, she took me to go to a kickboxing championship. And the first I was a bit reluctant, you know. I thought it would be like Maradha. But actually it was not like that. Kickboxing has its own rules and everything. And in the end it happened. I wanted to stay back and my host mother was like, no, we have to leave now. So it was very fun, you know. A few pictures from my Rotary meetings and gatherings. This over here is actually a picture in a Rotary school where they have a Rotary office over there. There are pictures from a lot of countries. These are a few pictures from my Rotary meetings. A few more pictures. This was actually a dinner organized by one of the clubs for all the exchange students in the district. So, you know, every chance we get, you know, everybody is very happy because you can have all the exchange students from your district. It's a fun time. Over there, I actually had dressed up as a genie for Halloween. Over there, in Halloween, it's not that big a thing, but we thought, you know, why not? You know, let's have our own little thing. So I dressed up as a genie. During my year over there, I had to give 2 presentations. Around January, I had to give a presentation about India. In my club, they had this thing that, you know, we will give you 6 months to learn the language and then we give the presentation in the language. So I was a bit nervous, you know, in Portuguese and a presentation in front of everybody. But then again, it's Rotary clubs are like your families. You don't have to be shy in front of them. So this was my first presentation about India in January. And then I had another last presentation in May before I left. And then, you know, everybody was noticing, you know, how my Portuguese improved in this term. So it was nice to receive good feedback, and it's a feedback that you've learned something. It's good to have a feedback. A part of India and Brazil. So, you know, being a foodie, yes, you know, like, I personally love pav bhaji, so I'm like, oh, I feel like eating pav bhaji. So, you know, food for me is like, oh my god. So actually, I made pav bhaji over there 2 times. I made pav bhaji over there 2 times, then I made gajar ka halwa. And then during Diwali, I made like a paneer ki sabzi and paratha. And then one day I was just like, I don't know what's wrong. Are we going out for lunch? Like, yeah, we're going somewhere. I was like, where are we going? She's like, this is a surprise, I'll take you. And it turns out that she takes me to an Indian restaurant. I was so happy, like, you know, rose juice, like, and masala papad and everything. I was more than happy. And this is the door of the Indian restaurant. And yeah, my host mom had a friend, and he worked in the Tata consultancy services. So when he came to know that I was an Indian, he was like, so, you know, I work in Tata. Do you know about Tata? I was like, yeah, definitely. Tata is like a very huge company. So he was like, so do you want to come for a visit? I was like, definitely, it would be amazing. So he organized like a day thing. So I went to the office with him. I met very different people. I met a lot of Indians also who were working over there. It was nice to see, you know, that it's so huge over there. Yeah. Then during my year, I did 2 trips. And, you know, we opened all our gifts during the Christmas Eve itself, and then we all had dinner and everything. Like, they made special dishes and everything. It was really nice to be a part of a family festival like Christmas. Then this is actually my friend next to me. Her name was Sini. My family had hosted another exchange student during the time that I was over there. So she was a short-term exchange student from South Africa, and she stayed over at our place for like around a month. This over there, you might be wondering, looks like Hulk. What is it? So on the 31st of December, there was an international South Sylvester run. It's like a marathon people came dressed up. So, there were people like Buzz the Lightyear, they were dressed up like that, or like the Hulk. Then in January, I changed my host families. This is my second host family, Eduardo e Delmara Venteiro. This is Mateus. He was my host brother. He was my elder host brother, and he was a reborn from Colombia. And over there is Otavio. Was my second brother, and he's currently in Denmark on his exchange via Rotary. And these are my two dogs. Before I left, I actually was very scared of dogs. And during this year, I know I learned to live with them, so I'm not so scared of dogs anymore. Then after changing my family, then I had my second trip, my trip to the south of Brazil. We went to so this is actually the Brazilian flag, the Argentinian flag, and the flag of Paraguay. This is our bus, and everybody, the Rotary chaperones and everybody. A few pictures from my south trip. This is actually Foz do Iguaçu, which is one of the biggest falls in the world. And a few more pictures. It was in a bird park and everything. This is actually a binational dam, which is was created by Paraguay and Brazil. So it's not, when you're over there, you're not in neither Paraguay nor in Brazil. Both the places at the same time. And then it was time for me to leave. Ciao Brazil. It's definitely very difficult to say bye to those people who've been with you, who've supported you when you were feeling low. When you were missing your family, they were another family who was with you. And then it has to end. So then you can't just be sad. So you have to come up with a positive outlook that it's the start to something new. It's a new life that you're going to begin with college and you study and things like that. So hello Mumbai, back to the airport where it started. A few things that I really miss a lot. My family's over there. The dogs were a bit annoying over there, but now I feel like I miss them. The food over there, yeah. When I was over there, I was like, it's a bit rice and beans every day. But I'm like, I still miss that, even if it was boring. One thing that I would definitely say, being an exchange student and a foreigner, when you're with foreign exchange students, and you'd be like maybe talking in English, maybe talking in Portuguese, definitely you'll have an accent, so everybody will be like, ye kaun ja raha hai, type thing, and they'll be looking at you, and at times you're like, you're foreigners, like, must be like, speaking in Portuguese, like, you have no idea. When I was making this presentation, I was like dying with the urge to speak in Portuguese with somebody, and I really couldn't. So I was just like, the beaches over there, they're very clean, definitely, and beautiful beaches they have over there. The weekends. Brazilian people, they work a lot during the week, and weekends are like, you rest, you have fun, go out with your friends and your family. Football is a huge thing. Just like cricket, football is like a religion over there. So there are different football clubs. So definitely, there used to be a bar below my house. People used to come to watch the match over there. So everybody would be like, supporting and living on the 6th floor and the 8th floor. Actually, I forgot to mention, my two families were living in the same apartment. So it was not very much of a change, but yeah. So you could always hear people cheering for the football clubs, even on the 8th or the 9th floor. And the Brazilian music, yeah, I miss it a lot. How I changed and what I learned, definitely. By yourself, definitely it's over. I changed in what I learned. When you go out, you have this exposure, so you get an idea about. Before it was like, how is Mexico? How's Poland? I don't know, But when you go there, you meet the people, so it gives you a great idea, it gives you great exposure, and you learn to make friends with people you don't really know. So it's amazing. To be more responsible, yes. You just can't walk by a city all by yourself. You have to be very responsible. And being in a country all by yourself, yes, I learned to be very responsible. to express myself better, accepting all challenges, looking at all the things in a positive manner. Yes. All of this during exchange, different situations that you go through. These things are a few things that made me a bit more mature than the girl who left India a year ago. And Portuguese, I learned Portuguese. I'm so happy that I learned Portuguese.
Say something in Portuguese. Say something in Portuguese.
Muito obrigada, which is thank you very much. I would take a half a minute to thank everybody. I would like to thank the Rotary Club of Borivli, the whole youth exchange program, my club who hosted me over there, our CEO of Sao Paulo Imigrantes, Sao Paulo Borivli, Rotary Club of Borivli, my family who supported me always, my host families who hosted me, and my friends, the friends that I made over there, the friends I had over here, everybody. I would like to thank everybody who was a part of my exchange. Thank you very much.